back to my channel. I am so glad that you are here for another fun video. I am Katie and you are watching my 31 days of Vlogtober, where I am giving recommendations for my favorite songs, movies, books, TV that all relates to the spooky Halloween season. So I hope that you guys are enjoying this. We are on day number 19 now, so if you've been here through all of these, thank you so much. I just appreciate you so much. So let's go ahead and go off of our prompt from yesterday, which was spooky sing-alongs. So it's this guy right here. And so yesterday I asked you to tell me about your favorite songs or movies that incorporate songs, maybe musical dance numbers, something like that. That is a part of the Halloween canon, the spooky kind of movies. So I have actually got 3 selections for you today, and I think a lot of people thought there wasn't going to be many options, but you'd be surprised. I didn't mention Repo the Genetic Opera, which is another very song-based horror film, but I've not seen it. So I did not want to, I didn't have time to watch it. And so I'm going to have to devote some time to that in the future. But I will get to all of my picks here in just a little bit. So that's my pick for today. So let us move on to my book choice for today. And this is for my witches again. So like I said, I'm kind of new to the whole witchcraft, really delving deep into it. But I am actively trying to get as much knowledge as I can, you know, so I can feel like I am being a source of light in this time period, because I feel like a lot of people are trying to find where they fit in, especially during quarantine. You know, I think a lot of people have been like devoting some time to spirituality and reflection, and I think that that's a wonderful thing to do at this time. So my book for today is another guide. It's another one of those where you don't necessarily have to read it all the way through, but it's called The Good Witch's Guide, and the subtitle is A Modern Day Wikipedia of Magical Ingredients and Spells. So I know a lot of people think, you know, spells and potions and things like that are hooey. And I say this stuff all the time just because I know that people are looking at a lot of this stuff and judge it, but it kind of frustrates me because we go to Catholic Mass and we take the blood of Christ and we take the body of Christ, and nobody questions that. Nobody says, you guys know that that's not real, right? Like, you know that that's not really his body and his blood because it's been, you know, consecrated now. We just have this idea that that's what it is. And I am not, like I said, I grew up Catholic, so that was what I believed for many, many years, and I do not belittle anybody that has the faith and has that belief. That's great, but why is witchcraft different when we say that we're putting intentions into something and this is what we believe it is? I think it's the exact same thing, guys, and people are very naive and very judgmental about witchcraft in general. So like when I say magical ingredients and spells, it's an intention that you're putting into what you're doing. So if you are a Christian, if you're Catholic and you go to Mass and you partake in the body and blood of Christ, it is the same kind of thing, guys. It depends on your beliefs, and I think that people need to kind of chill out with the negativity that surrounds witchcraft, because it really upsets me, because a lot of things that Christian faith pulls from was based off of pagan religions, okay? So they created All Souls Day or All Saints Day the day after Halloween, November 1st, because they wanted to bring the focus back to Christianity and not around the pagan holiday of Samhain. So, like I said, it really just rubs me the wrong way when Christians call something like witchcraft hooey, when in fact they're doing a bunch of hooey too. Everybody is doing hooey, okay? This is how the world works with religion. It's all faith-based. Whatever you believe in, it is your faith that guides you through it. So if you're believing in the body and blood of Christ, that's wonderful. If you are believing that you can put intentions into something and create a spell or create a potion that will better your life, that's great too. Like I said, a lot of people look at witchcraft and they go, oh, well, they're just making spells and they're trying to trick people. And Guys, can we stop with that negative thought process, please? Because it's so damaging to people that do have this faith and that do believe that what they're doing is for good. There are bad people on every possible facet of life. I mean, there are bad Christians. We all know some of them, okay? We all know bad Christians that they go to church on Sunday, and then as soon as they walk out of church's doors, they start talking about their neighbor and how they start gossiping about so-and-so, and that's not what you just learned about in church, guys. So there are bad people everywhere. There are bad witches that maybe are going through the steps without the best intentions. And I just really hope that you guys know that I am not one of those people, that I am kind of going into witchcraft with a belief that there's something out there that is stronger than all of us. And I think that isn't that like kind of the basis of faith, is that we believe that there is a overall spirit, a guide, nature in general that's watching out for us. And I think it's important that we just recognize that. I know it's another soapbox I've jumped myself onto, but this stuff is important to me, and I am tired of hearing people say that witchcraft is the work of the devil. It is not. There is not a single thing that a witch is, pledging to Satan. I mean, that's Satanism. That's a completely different thing. It is not witchcraft. So I really want people to get that connotation out of their heads, that if you believe in witchcraft, then you don't believe in God. There are Christian witches. There are people out there that believe in Jesus Christ and believe in God, but they also want to go down the witchcraft path because they are akin and attuned to nature and those things. So I guess what I'm really trying to say is there are other ways to believe. Yours is not the correct one. Mine's not the correct one. Who knows what the correct one is? That's kind of the brilliance of life, man. You have your own belief system. You are your own identity, your own person, and you can believe whatever makes you happy, whatever gives you happiness in your heart. So it can be Catholicism, it can be Christianity in general, it could be Buddhism, it could be you could be Hinduism, Taoism, any of these things. They're all based on a faith in something. So with this book, it's really wonderful because, like it says, spells and ingredients. They kind of go through different steps that you can take to create potions and things. They give you a wonderful beginning incantations that you can say, different common ingredients that you can use in your spells. So they've got mugwort and plantain, watercress, nettles, chamomile, crabapple, things like that. And then they dive deeper into like what is mugwort, what is watercress, and the components that they use these ingredients for. So like, something may be used in a power spell, or it could be used in a love spell, or it could be used in just like a general health spell. I mean, things like this are available to who believes the things, and like I said, this is my path that I am journeying down right now, and so I really love that it kind of gives me a step-by-step guide. These are essential oils and what they're kind of used for in the magical terminology, and I think it's beautiful. It's a great book, lots of lovely pictures, and a wealth of information. So I have gone on my soapbox again, and I really apologize for that, but it really rubs me the wrong way, especially with the way modern day is. You see movies and things about witchcraft, and they're always shown with such a negative connotation. So believe what you want to believe. That's the beauty of the world, that no one has got it all together. No one religion is superior to any other, okay? I defy anybody who wants to tell me that your religion is superior to mine, or my father's, or my sister's, or whoever else believes maybe something different from you. So I'm not going to stop showcasing witchcraft things. I would like to get further into that with my channel. I don't know if you guys are okay with that. I mean, I have got a couple people that watch all my videos, and I'm really grateful for you, but I don't know if it's necessarily something you care to watch, and that's okay. But I would like to, like I said, incorporate a little bit more down the road with this channel. And after Vlogtober, I really want to get into more lighthouse stuff, you know, because that's my title, is the Haunted Lighthouse Historian. So I would like to get further into lighthouse history and lore and things like that. But these are the things I love, and that's what I wanted to showcase on this channel. I don't really have one specific thing that I really, you know, really love. So kind of a mishmash of all these things. So that is my choice for today, The Good Witch's Guide. And if you want to pick this book up, I got it from Amazon. You can get it, or actually, you know what? I picked this up from Barnes & Noble. It was over in their spirituality section. So this one I got from Barnes & Noble. But a lot of these ones I have to pick up from Amazon because they're not available at Barnes & Noble for whatever reason. So definitely pick up The Good Witch's Guide. It is a beautiful wealth of knowledge. And like I said, if you're just interested in learning about the craft and what is involved with it, I think it's a great read. So The Good Witch's Guide, that is my choice for today. So let's move into my movie recommendations. So the first one I want to talk about is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So that is a classic 1975 film that stars Tim Curry and Susan Sarandon and Barry Bostwick, and it is kind of a homage to Frankenstein in a way, and with elements of supreme humor. Tim Curry is just an enigma in this movie. He is so good. But I really liked that at the time this movie came out in the 1975 in the 70s, it was still kind of cliche for gay people, transvestites, homosexuality in general, and this movie kind of thumbed its nose at it and said, hey, look, there's a lot of different people in the world, and they all need to have their stories told, and this is just such a fun film. So many classic songs. You know, everybody knows the time warp. Okay, everybody knows, let's do the time warp again. So that's where it comes from. It comes from Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I had the supreme pleasure / honor of getting to see this on a big screen. One of the local schools in our area is called the Collingwood Arts Center, and or the Collingwood School of Performing Arts, and so they have the Collingwood Arts Center. That's kind of their performance auditorium area, and it is supposedly haunted. So they had a midnight showing of Rocky Horror Picture Show. I think this was about 10 years ago, and myself, my friend Nicole, and our friend Brad, we all went to this midnight showing, and it was so amazing. Like, you hear about people going to midnight showings of Rocky Horror, and it is as amazing as everyone says it is. You know, they have the different elements that they're throwing at the screen, and they're saying different things throughout the film. And I was kind of a novice when I went. I didn't really know all the things. So Brad, when we decided to go, he was all well versed on this, and he said, you got to bring your newspaper, you got to bring toilet paper, and all these things so that you could you know, utilize it throughout that part in the movie. And it was amazing to be in a room, everybody singing, everybody laughing, everybody quoting the movie as it went. It was just a really magical experience. And I think Rocky Horror is still done like that, typically at smaller theaters. But if you ever get a chance to go see Rocky Horror on the big screen at like a midnight showing with a bunch of other people that dress up for the affair, you know, they get all dolled up like Frankenfurter, and it's just such a great experience that I think that you should not limit yourself from experiencing. So Rocky Horror is my first pick. I do not own the DVD. I don't know why. I thought I did, but it's another situation where I've looked in all of my avenues where I typically keep my DVDs and I can't find it. So definitely check out Rocky Horror. I don't think it's streaming anywhere currently. You may get lucky and find it on TV currently, you know, in Halloween season of 2020, but it is quite a fabulous film all on its own. Susan Sarandon is so funny in this, playing Janet, and my mom's name is Janet, so every time they sing "Damn It, Janet," it really makes me laugh. And I love Tim Curry. I could watch Tim Curry read the phone book. He's just so magical in this role, and he is an amazing human being. So I absolutely love Rocky Horror Picture Show. So definitely check it out if you have been sleeping on it and have not seen it yet. So my second choice, I think a lot of people were expecting this one, because if you know me, you know how much I love this film. But this is for Hocus Pocus. This beautiful film right here. And do you guys want to hear a funny story? So Hocus Pocus has got like a 38% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. A 38% rating. Like, what? Like, have you seen Hocus Pocus? I guess, you know, when Hocus Pocus first came out on July 16th, 1993, yes, it was a summer release. So when it came out, it was kind of a tanker, you know, it did not bring in a lot of revenue. Everyone said that, you know, it was a flop. And over the years, it has kind of amassed this cult following. But I'll tell you, I've loved Hocus Pocus since day 2. Okay, so my mother, this is one memory that I have that is so vivid that has stayed with me my whole life. So my mom was pregnant with my brother. She was going to have him in August. He came August 28th of 1993. And so going to see Hocus Pocus was kind of our last hurrah as a mom and 2 daughters. You know, we were going to be getting another member of the family. So mom decided to bring us, and it was going to be our last mom and daughter day, you know, just as a family of 4. My dad, of course, did not go see Hocus Pocus. He was working at the time, but she thought this would be a great thing for us all to kind of do, you know, as a trio. And I remember everything about that day. We always went to the Saturday matinees, so we never went to the Friday night releases, just because it was so busy and it was full price. If we went the next day at the matinee, it would be a lot less crowded and it would be cheaper. So we were that family that were like, of course we're going to go when it's cheaper. Are you crazy? So that Saturday, I think it was a 2:00 showing, and we went into the theater, we had our popcorn, we sat down, and I remember watching that opening credit where they have the kind of like, it looks like the book, and then it opens up, and then you see Sarah flying on her broom over the city of Salem, which is Salem Village, Salem Commons area. And I just knew in that second that I was going to love this movie. I didn't care about anything else that was going to come up. I knew right then that this was going to be one of my favorite movies. And to this day, I get very emotional when I watch the beginning of this movie, because it makes me think of that time in my life with my mom and my sister. And it's just a wonderful memory that I will always hold on to. I feel like I'm getting like misty-eyed just thinking about it, but I love Hocus Pocus. If you have not seen Hocus Pocus, there's nothing that I'm going to say currently that will change your mind, because you've already made the decision that you don't want to see it, because it is everywhere at Halloween time. It is on the Freeform about 97 times in the 31 days leading up to Halloween. So if you've not seen Hocus Pocus, I'm not going to change your mind, and that's fine. You know, live your life, do what you want to, but understand that you are missing out on such a fabulous film. Such a fabulous film. The characters themselves are 3 wonderful witches. Sarah, Mary, and Winifred Sanderson are played by Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy, and Bette Midler, okay? Bette Midler. I love Bette Midler so much, and she is just a revelation in this movie. She is gorgeous and hilarious, and of course you get the song stylings of Miss Bette when they sing I Put a Spell on You, and you've got Sarah Jessica Parker's gorgeous vocals when she does Come Little Children. So all the people in this movie have got nice voices. The movie was directed by Kenny Ortega. who is actually a choreographer really by trade. And so this was one of his first forays into directing. And so a lot of the direction, like I've watched some behind the scenes clips and stuff, and this Blu-ray has got a lot of great features on it. But they talked about, when they were filming this movie, that he was really looking at elements of choreography when he was placing them into the scenes, and a lot of the direction came in forms of choreography steps. So I really think that that's amazing, and these girls absolutely loved his direction, and I think that it really shows because they put together a movie that is just incredible, because then you add the other characters in this film. You've got Max Dennison, who is played by Omri Katz. You've got Thora Birch's character, who plays Max's sister Danny. You've got Vanessa Shaw, and she plays Allison. And it's just such a beautiful story of, this Max and Danny have moved to Salem. They're from Los Angeles or LA, and they are kind of fish out of water. They don't really feel like they belong, especially Max. Danny's kind of like, it's fine. I like it here. It's pretty. I've made some friends. Max is a bit of a harder sell. He's missing his friends. He's missing LA. And so he's not really enjoying his time in Salem yet until he meets Allison's character, who he just falls head over heels for right away. And Allison's not having it though. She's like, look, if you're in here and you're not all about Halloween, and she kind of schools him a bit in school when he tries to say that Halloween was invented by the candy companies and it's a conspiracy. And so she kind of takes him to Halloween church and says, no, it's actually, based on All Hallows Eve, Samhain, and everything like that. So I really liked Allison because she was a great character for a young girl to kind of see that you don't have to just agree with somebody. You can say, no, that's actually not correct at all. And I thought it was really great the way she did that. But I really like this Blu-ray version of it. It's got, of course, the slipcover. And then you've got the gals on the cover here. You've got Binks in front of his sister's gravestone back here. And then in the inside of it, you've got the Blu-ray version of it, and you've got this beautiful booklet. And the booklet kind of, well, you don't need to see the voodoo part stuff, but so there's the cover of the booklet. And it's just a really great collection of information in here. Definitely a nice collector's piece if you are a fan of Hocus Pocus. This version of the Blu-ray box set came out last year. I snatched it up as quickly as I possibly could because I had it on DVD, but I didn't have the Blu-ray version. So, like I said, if you've not seen Hocus Pocus, there's nothing I will say that's going to automatically go, oh, well, of course, now I have to go see this movie. But understand that anybody that kind of grew up with this film, I'm sure can agree with me when I say that it is such a special piece of movie history, and it's a movie that I will forever love, and I'll talk it up forever. So each Halloween, without fail, we get it on Freeform, but I'm the one that's watching Hocus Pocus in March or April. I mean, I pull it out all times of the year, and it never gets old. I mean, I've seen this movie hundreds of times, and it just makes me really happy. It also reminds me now of my friend Nicole, who I met in college, and she was one of the best things that happened to me during my 4.5 years of college. And she one year I had to work on Halloween, and I was just devastated about it because it's my favorite day of the year. So I was working at a coffee shop called Maxwell's. It is no longer there, unfortunately. It was such an awesome coffee shop. But I was working at the coffee shop, and Nicole came, and she sat with me my whole shift. She, gave up her Halloween too to be with me, and I'll never forget that. And Hocus Pocus was on the TV, and so it was kind of a slow night. So we sat in the booth, and we watched Hocus Pocus together, and it has been our thing ever since. I love Hocus Pocus. I mean, I've got my Sanderson sisters blanket back here. I have another one that we just picked up actually this year from Spirit Halloween downstairs, and I've got my Billy Butcherson tombstone up here. So I love I love Hocus Pocus. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It has been, since day 2 of Hocus Pocus's life, it's been one of my favorite movies. So, if you've not seen Hocus Pocus, you should definitely check it out. It is streaming all the time on Disney Plus now. You can catch it, I'm sure, many times still. Today's the 19th, but they'll probably show it 12 more times on Freeform. So, you can't get away from it at this time of year. My husband hates Hocus Pocus, and that's one of the things when I started dating him. I was like, I don't know, is it worth marrying him? I don't know if I can handle this, but I just watch it when he's not home, and it works out for both of us. So definitely check out Hocus Pocus. I love this movie, and I know all of these things are just an opinion base, but yeah, I really hope that you guys would give it a chance if you've not seen Hocus Pocus. And yeah, it's just great. I love it. So let's move on to my third choice today. And this is kind of one that not a lot of people know about, but this movie is amazing. So this is a movie called Anna and the Apocalypse. And I have the vinyl of the movie soundtrack because I loved it so much. I watched it for the first time. It was on Hulu back in July, I think, of this year during quarantine. I'd heard about the movie and wanted to see it, but it didn't really come anywhere near me when they put out the limited theater release. So it came out in the UK and in the United States back in November of 2018. It started at Fantastic Fest in 2017, but then it got its kind of theatrical release after that. But it didn't come anywhere near me, so I wasn't able to see Anna and the Apocalypse in the theater, and I had to wait for a while, to 2020 to actually get to see it. And I love this movie so much. It is so good. And I know a lot of people are tired of the zombie genre because of The Walking Dead and 28 Days Later, and there's so many of them. I can't even tell you all of the zombie films and television series. I mean, look at how many amalgamations of The Walking Dead they have either spun off or are going to be spinning off. The Zombieland movies. There's a lot of zombies that have infiltrated into the public conscious in the last, I'd say, decade. And so people are kind of burnt out from zombies. But please believe me when I tell you that this is a new, fresh take on zombies that has a musical element to it. So this was actually based on a musical that was showing in the UK, and I think it was just called Zombie the Musical. And it's around Christmas time, so the zombie apocalypse hits, I think, Christmas Eve. And the whole premise is Anna, who is the main character, this gal right here with the daggery candy cane, and she is separated from her father. Her mother has passed away, and so she's trying to get back to her dad. Her dad was going to the local high school. There was a musical performance going on, kind of a Christmas spectacular. And some of the songs from the Christmas spectacular are freaking hilarious. But I really like the pieces that are a true musical, format where they kind of break away from the story and they do a musical song and dance. There was one called Hollywood Ending I really, really love. My favorite, though, is Human Voice, and that one kind of comes about after everyone's isolated. This group of kids has found their way into a bowling alley. They've kind of segmented themselves there and are wondering if there's anybody else out there. They don't know how far of a reach this zombie apocalypse has hit, so they don't know about their families, they don't know about their other friends, and they're just singing about wanting to hear another person's voice. And it's really heartfelt. It's a beautiful song, and there's a lot of songs like that in this. I Will Believe. It's a beautiful story, and it's funny. Holy shit, it's so funny. So you typically get like a Zombieland zombie movie, and it's funny, but now you add elements of a musical to that And it's just like par for the course. I mean, honestly, guys, I saw this, like I said, back in July, and I instantly wanted to own the soundtrack. I loved it so much. So I looked it up online, saw that the soundtrack was available on vinyl, and I am such a fan of vinyl. I don't know if you can see on the bottom shelf over here, that's my collection of vinyl. And I'm more of a new vinyl fan. I mean, I've got a couple old Bruce Springsteen albums and things like that, but most of my vinyl is newer artists and things like that. But this is the back part of it. In the vinyl even includes an additional song that was cut from the movie. So a whole scene and a whole song. So it's Which Side Are You On? So if you're interested in kind of like rare pieces, I thought that was cool about the vinyl. And then the vinyl itself is beautiful because this is the sleeve on the inside of it here. There's the back side of it. But then look at this vinyl in general. It's a blood splatter vinyl. Isn't that so cool? I don't know. I absolutely loved it. It was kind of a surprise. I wasn't aware that the vinyl was going to be a colored vinyl. And I just thought I was getting a standard vinyl. So that was a beautiful surprise. And like I said, it is a beautiful score, beautiful songs. The acting is really good. This was shot, I think, in Scotland. And so everyone has that beautiful Scottish accent. And it's just a very brilliant film, very brilliantly acted. Love the songs, love everything about it. So if you have not seen Anna and the Apocalypse, please do yourself the favor and go check it out, because I think that you will really, truly, truly love it. So that is my third and final musical movie choice for today. So let's go ahead and get into my series I want to talk about today. And this one, it hurts me to talk about it because the first couple seasons were so good, and then things changed. One of the actors left the show, and it really changed the dynamic of it. It wasn't a bad series by any stretch of the imagination afterwards. It just, it was different, and it kind of lost some of the elements I really loved about it. But I am talking about the beautiful Sleepy Hollow series. So this one, it came out in 2013. So 2013 to 2017 was the run. It had 4 seasons, and I have the first 2 seasons available on DVD box set because I really, really loved them. I love the dynamic between the 2 main characters. So you got Ichabod here, Ichabod Crane, and then Abby Mills plays a cop in Sleepy Hollow. And so they are kind of thrust together in pursuit of stopping basically the apocalypse from coming. So there are a lot of elements of lore and legend that kind of intertwine along with the story of Sleepy Hollow. You know, you do have the Headless Horseman. He is a Hessian soldier who loses his head in battle, but they spin it in this series as Ichabod was also in the war. And so Ichabod is the one that cut off his head during battle. And so the horseman is going after Ichabod in revenge. But they also spin it as an element of the Headless Horseman was in love with Katrina Van Tassel, who is, of course, a part of the Sleepy Hollow story, you know, Washington Irving's beautiful tale. And so all of the characters are present. So you get to see lovely splits. So they'll be in modern day 2013 Sleepy Hollow. They incorporate Tarrytown into it too, which I really loved, because Tarrytown is really what Sleepy Hollow was up until, I think it was like 1993 is when they actually created Sleepy Hollow and gave it the name Sleepy Hollow. It was all incorporated as Tarrytown up until that point. So, I mean, it's been less than 2 decades since they, you know, really changed the name of Sleepy Hollow to what it is. You know, we always had the Sleepy Hollow Cemetery and things like that, but the town itself was not called Sleepy Hollow. But if you want to go to Sleepy Hollow today, it is listed on the map as Sleepy Hollow, which is kind of cool. But Tarrytown, like I said, was kind of neat that they incorporated that into the show. They, of course, take liberties with this. They kind of make it out that Sleepy Hollow is a bigger town than it actually is. You know, it's got 100,000 residents, and in reality, there's less than 10,000 residents in the entirety of Sleepy Hollow. In Tarrytown, they have this psychiatric facility, which is where they keep Abby, who is, like I said, the main female character, her sister, because there is a plot story around Abby and her sister where they saw something out in the woods, and her sister came back and wanted to talk about it. Abby did not, so she denied the whole thing, and they took her sister and said that she had, you know, had a mental break and put her into Tarrytown Psychiatric Facility. So you have all of these elements added to the storyline. A lot of fantastic characters you meet. John Cho, I've mentioned before when I was talking about the Exorcist series. He was in the first couple seasons of Sleepy Hollow as well, as kind of a bad character to begin with, but as a redemptive character really towards the end. And I really love the storyline. It is not Washington Irving Sleepy Hollow. Obviously, they've taken many liberties, of course, with, you know, Ichabod not being a school teacher. He is, you know, this other, he kind of studied under Ben Franklin, and he knew George Washington, you know, he fought with him, and there's so many weird little elements that they kind of trickled into the story. Len Wiseman, who I just talked about yesterday with the Underworld franchise, he also directed Sleepy Hollow, so there was that dark element that I feel like Len has a lot in his movies. Like I said, with Underworld, there is a dark vibe to this series as well, and I just absolutely love it. Now, this series premiered under less than sparkling circumstances for me. It was the day I found out my grandfather passed away, but I had been looking forward to this series for so long, and my sister gave me so much grief about this. She would always make fun of me and post on my Facebook, "Oh, Sleepy Hollow's gonna start. Oh, did you hear about Sleepy Hollow? Hey, have you heard about this series, Sleepy Hollow?" So I got a lot of crap from her about loving this and getting excited about it, but yeah, so it started less than sparkling terms for me, like I said, but I still really loved it. It was something that I could look forward to on that day, and it did not disappoint me in the slightest. I absolutely loved it. So if you have not seen the Sleepy Hollow series, I definitely recommend you check it out. I think it's available on Hulu right now, so you can watch it very easily there, or Amazon Prime. I think it's available as well. The DVDs are pretty cheap, so if you like it, you should definitely go and purchase the DVDs. There are 4 seasons, like I said. I've only got the first 2 seasons, but I will be buying the whole series at some point because I do really like this one a lot. And like with Psych, I like to incorporate the whole whole series of these shows that I really love. So Sleepy Hollow has so many fantastical elements. I really love the way that they go from modern Sleepy Hollow back to Ichabod's original time period, and they kind of float back and forth kind of seamlessly. The monsters that they incorporate in this show, they have an episode about the golem. You know, it's kind of a tale about this creature that somebody can summon to do their bidding, and so they kind of incorporated that. There's a lot of kind of urban legendy things that they threw in this series too that of course don't really go along with Sleepy Hollow, but kind of encompass that whole spooky supernatural element to it. I loved Katrina's character. As it kind of progressed, her character changed a little bit, so I didn't really necessarily care about that trajectory that they took her into, but first couple seasons I actually absolutely loved every single character. And then, like I said, Abby Mills, her character leaves the series, and they try and change up the dynamic, bring in a new character, and it wasn't exactly the same for me. Like I said, I still enjoyed it. I still loved watching it, but they tried to change the storyline, and I think that a lot of fans did not care for that, so that's why it only hit to 4 seasons, but I wish it would have gone longer. I really, really loved it, and I think it's definitely a show that you should check out. So if you have not seen Sleepy Hollow, I definitely recommend that you go and check it out, because I don't think you'll be disappointed. So check out Sleepy Hollow. that is my pick for TV show for today. So that is it for me for my recommendations, but let's go ahead and get my tomorrow's prompt off of my board. So tomorrow's prompt is 1950s and 1960s horror. So now I want to hear about these two decades, 1950s and 1960s, your favorite films from these two decades. So I will be back here, same time, same channel, and we will be discussing 1950s and 1960s horror. So I hope that you guys are all well, that you're staying safe, and that you're healthy, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.